Yeah, yeah. This is Point Izzy coming in hard around the sky. Coming with the flu straight to the barrio. And coming with the heat to the damn street. We coming with the facts to crack souls' backs. We coming with the boom bip to flip the Democratic cricket fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And we coming with PBNN, Point Black National News, the late and the great edition, and the ghetto edition as well. Because this is what we must do at all times across the planet Earth that we call Earth, in which we live on. This horrible garbage we see going on in the Gaza Strip being orchestrated by the United States and Britain and all the other countries involved in creating a Israel and even formulating a language called Hebrew, which can be proven to be a false language in itself because it had to be made up. It is not an original people based on any scriptural book at all other than what was revised, rewritten, and brought out as a new version back in the 20s, probably, and a little before in the planning of the beast in his bullshit. And then creating this into a religion, a factual religion within the matriarchal garbage that was already infiltrated by them. So by rewriting the book and putting this there, gave them that biblical understanding in people's mind, which is a lie, to believe that they are the chosen people on planet Earth. This is also a lie. Because if God, or whatever God they prove to say there is, why is he not paying all your bills? Why do you have to con, scratch, kill, and murder in order to get it? So therefore, while you're talking that garbage about this God and that God that you cannot see until the day you die, you know what I'm saying, is straight garbage. We must look for ours here now on earth. We must stop living a lie. And then when somebody do not agree with your garbage, you want to bully them, kill them, murder, argue, and talk shit. So we have no time for petty thinking minds. What we see going on in the Gaza Strip is also a part of the orchestration of the demon Biden criminal group, all the way going back to Bush, Reagan, Clinton, the killing Clintons, you know what I'm saying? Obama, Michelle, and all of these things. Trump is right. Trump spoke the truth. These people have been fucking up our government for a long time. Not only that, passing the baton from one to another. This goes all the way back to Albert Pike, as we know, and even beyond. Passing the baton from one to another. And every time they do, they use the psychological garbage that LBJ set up with niggers to keep them in power by black people voting for them and not their own Republican Party, which could have brought even more prosperity and true freedom. But every time you organize something, whether it's a CLC or any group, Marcus Garvey, any group, you let these beasts convince your mind to destroy your own liberation. You must now start to think past this because now it is not just a singular effect on even the Caucasian, what you call the white man. This is all a global round effect now. And as you could see it, it has now shown its true colors in itself by when we look at the research when they call a place that they call an invasion and created a place there that they call Israel, but it's not. It is Egypt. Let's get that straight. So now today we want to listen to what the lumberjack has to say in itself, because the lumberjack is right there. Is I say, that's right. You stay with the lumberjack, And the lumberjack will open that door.
People of faith, and you understand that. All the time I hear from concerned parents how much harder it is for a Christian family to raise their children in today's media environment. Your values of love, charity, and faith built this nation. A Trump administration, our Christian heritage will be cherished, protected, defended.
That's right.
Like you've never seen before. It will be our faith in God, in his teachings, in each other, that will lead us back to unity.
All American patriots who are seeing this video to join forces and get President Trump back in office. Are you in? If so, you can make a massive difference by taking our early poll to support President Trump. In return, we'll give you a limited edition Trump 2024 flag absolutely free. Yep, that's right. Absolutely free in exchange for taking this 10-second poll in support for Trump, who has always put America and Americans first. This free flag is meant only for true patriots and supporters of Trump in 2024. Please do not claim your free flag if you're not a supporter of President Trump. Fellow patriots, let's come together and take America back so we can make this the greatest country on earth again. Click the link below to take the quick poll and get your free flag. All free flags will be given out on a first-come, first-served basis. If you're seeing this video, then that means we still have flags available. But hurry, because we have a limited supply.
Who could have thought that this little ingredient could help stabilize glucose levels? Most people continue to take blood sugar medication because they have been brainwashed by the medical establishment to believe it is the only...
I had to get past
together for you
right,
too,
right.
but this
is what I wanted to get to.
The one is so good because it shows that people are not falling for George Soros's nonsense anymore, which makes me very happy, people. So George Soros's plans are falling apart, and if George Soros's plans are falling apart, then ours are coming together, and this is going to be a great live stream. So please do smash that like, do chat in with where you see Nevada Captain. Good to see you there. And as people are joining, I'll just mention my sponsor real quick, MyPillow, MyPillow.com, promo code Lumberjack. You'll love it, man. The travel pillows, the MyPillow 2.0. Get yourself some Giza sheets. God's child, thank you so much for that super sticker. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. So, people, I'm going to start. Okay, so I've got this story on Soros, but I'm going to start with another story just to get things rolling as people are joining the stream and come in. Again, just please smash the like and chat in with where you're from. But so Senate Democrats, folks, have reached a border deal with Republicans. Do you guys, are you aware of this, that the Senate Democrats have reached a border deal with the Republicans? But House GOP says it's dead on arrival. So there's another win. That's a bonus win, free for you tonight. Just, Anna, Sweden is my home country. Sweden and Norway are where my relatives are from. I actually am the descendant of a Viking king who had an island off the coast of Norway. Just a little aside for you folks, you know, royalty in my blood. Anyways, but Senate Democrats have reached a deal on border with the Republicans in the Senate, but the House GOP has said it's dead on arrival. Senate Democrats have reached a border deal with Senate Republicans that is apparently tied to funding for what, people? What would it be tied to the funding of? What would be so important for securing our border that you would tie funding to what? What? Just curious if you all know what it is.
Crooked
in a
shit.
supplemental foreign aid package, but House GOP leaders have said it's dead on arrival in their chamber. Okay, I'm still trying. Thank you. Genuine Draft got it. Ukraine, that's right. You know, it's tied to funding the war in Ukraine. The full legislative language of the border agreement hasn't been released yet, but the details have been leaked. Republicans said the border is a priority and we should craft a bipartisan bill to control the border. We did that, wrote Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat of Connecticut. He's a joke, by the way. I don't know if you've ever seen him talk. Anyways, we have a deal this weekend. Will we release the bill and vote next week? It's decision time. And it appears that they are making the right decision, which is no deal. Republicans said the border is a priority and we should craft a bipartisan bill to help the border. Come on, people. Chuck Schumer said on Thursday that he plans to file cloture on the motion to proceed to the vehicle on Monday, which would be a procedural vote on the bill. He said the first vote on the National Security Supplemental would likely occur no later than Wednesday. Well, if Chuck Schumer's for it, guess what, folks? I'm against it. Okay, so now to the big story. That now that we've got 382 of you people on, please do smash that like. But I've got a good one for you, and I got this out of AMAC. And so one of the websites I frequent, if you guys want to know a site that you can get some news off of, is Real Clear Politics, and that's where I get a lot of my polling numbers from when I cover polling. So it's no great secret out there. I just want you to know that it's there. And they oftentimes will publish articles from both the left and the right. And I actually like reading and getting different perspectives to understand how the left is thinking. And every once in a while, they do actually have a good idea. So I have to say that because some of the people on the left see some of the same problems that we see. Oftentimes, the problem is their way of handling it. Okay. So Soros, this out of AMAC, Soros prosecutors leaving public office in droves. And if you can't smash a like for that, I don't know what you can, but Soros prosecutors leaving public office in droves. Since 2022, at least 15 far-left district attorneys backed by liberal megadonor George Soros have resigned, retired, been recalled, or lost re-election, according to a recent report from the watchdog group Virginians for Safe Communities. With fewer Soros prosecutors taking office in that time, it seems conservatives may be turning the tide against the radical criminal justice reform movement. On January 8th, Milwaukee County District Attorney John Chisholm became the latest Soros DA to announce that he would not seek re-election this year. That was almost a given, folks. And why John Chisholm? Do you guys remember what happened with this John Chisholm character and what he had stated? I covered this around the time where we had the Christmas Day parade massacre. Do you guys remember that story? Where, they were the guy drove through the dancing grannies and everything. So, hey, Marilyn, good to see you on. Saw Marilyn Todd. Anyways, like other Marxist prosecutors, Chisholm pursued an agenda of ending cash bail, releasing as many prisoners as possible, and refusing to prosecute low-level offenses like drug use and theft. Chisholm's policy received national attention in 2021 after it was revealed that the 39-year-old Darrell Brooks, the man who intentionally drove his car into a Christmas parade in Wisconsin, killing 5 innocent civilians and injuring at least 48 more, was out on $1,000 cash bail after physically assaulting the mother of his child and attempting to run her over with his vehicle at a Milwaukee gas station. I mean, do you remember this story? It's on my Red Pill in America playlist. I did a great video on this.
Oh, yeah.
That was, over a year ago. But go check that playlist out if you want. Kind of a fun one. It's called Red Pilling America. This video is on there, and I spent a lot of time on that report. But the ridiculously low bond was even more shocking, considering that Brooks was also guilty of jumping another bond at the time of his arrest. Following this incident, many of Chisholm's critics pointed to an interview from 2007. I'll never forget this one. I watched this interview from 2007. Good to see Texas on, in which Chisholm said it was guaranteed. So understand that this is the guy who wanted these, gave him this $1,000 cash bail, wanted cashless bail, all this kind of stuff, this guy Chisholm. But following this incident, many of Chisholm's critics pointed to an interview from 2007 in which Chisholm said it was guaranteed there would be an individual I divert or I put into a treatment program who's going to go out and kill somebody. He could guarantee that it was going to happen. It's guaranteed to happen, Chisholm said at the time. It does not invalidate the approach. That's what he said. Chisholm's decision to not seek re-election is particularly significant considering that he was in many ways the blueprint for other far-left Soros prosecutors throughout the country, often acting as the movement's top cheerleader online and in the media. As the Washington Free Beacon noted back in 2021, Chisholm is taking credit for the rise of other radical DAs like Philadelphia's Larry Krasner, and I've seen some people from Pennsylvania on tonight, San Francisco's Chesa Boudin, whom Chisholm viewed as a sort of protege. At a conference last year, Boudin and Chisholm spoke together about the supposedly bright future of the far-left prosecutor movement. Ironically, however, it was Boudin's recall in June 2022 that helped spark a nationwide backlash against Soros prosecutors. Despite being elected as a Democrat in one of the most liberal cities in America, voters overwhelmingly chose to recall Boudin after San Francisco devolved into one of the most dangerous cities in America. You guys remember that? When the prosecutor of San Francisco got recalled? But it was bigger than this. So this one is covering all these Soros-backed DAs who have either been recalled or left or, they're gone, right? But it's bigger than that because in the 2022 elections and the 2021 elections, a lot of liberal prosecutors that were backed by Soros lost their election bid in the first place. This is one of the greatest movements, the movement against this crime. And sadly, San Francisco, full of fools who voted this person in, had to experience the increased spike in crime before they figured it out. Okay? So there's more to this article, but I think you got the idea. I'm going to move on to the next piece. So here's another.
Yeah, because some people in our country, where we see this nonsense going on, you know what I'm saying? We were any individual, and Soros is a Russian. So why is he in our government? Still waiting on the answer on that one. But why don't you have more say than the American people? Now, again, why does these elected officials of these demon democratical machine bullshit going all the way back that brought it to here where we are now, talking about defunding the police, giving the police a bad name because of other bad people that were allowed to be in the police department in the first place, all kind of pedophilia shit going on and dumb shit, and all the other officers get blamed for their misconduct. What happened to the officers? There are many officers that do a great job. We're not saying policing and arresting, dealing with criminals, it's going to be 100. There's always going to be many flaws in the game as far as that is concerned. But how is Soros in our government using these mega attorneys to formulate a coalition to attack the United States? So the Democrats had let in what they call their greatest enemy, the Russians, and then have him in our government sabotaging our country from within. Calling himself, or whatever you want to call himself, a philanthropist, just like Billy the motherfucking Goat Gates, which is probably another fucking crooked motherfucking idiot from, some country we never heard of, as an enemy of the United States in itself. So the demon Democrats has allowed in and bargained with all the enemies on planet Earth and even created invasions into people's country under the guise that they think they're saying back in the days, and we didn't want to hear the bullshit, but they ran it, talking about spreading democracy. No, they were talking of spreading demon mockery in their Luciferian mathematical world. People must start to pay more attention to even when a president is sworn in. Reagan made symbolic move, so did Bush Donkey Jr. and the rest of them. And even creepy ass nutcase pedophilia whack out of his fucking brains from day one, creepy Joe Biden. Notice the Bible he swore in on when he swore in. Notice the different things that they do when they do what they do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still asking the question, how does Soros get into our government or allowed into our government? He's a Russian and he's manipulating our government from the very inside. Hmm? Meanwhile, you're talking about all these people have these qualifications to be in our government and be elected when we never saw their credentials. We never even scrutinized their credentials as far as what they say gives them illegitimacy to be any kind of spokes in our government, such as Jen Nutcase, dumbass LGBTQ, Passat Nut. She's up in our government, but we never seen her credentials. Same thing with Jack Smith. We never saw all of Jack Smith's credentials leading up to every single thing we need to know that gives him that right to have that position and that qualification. So what we know now and what we knew all along is that the demon Democrats will put anybody in position they think can follow their bidding and do their dirty work, while the country and countries are being attacked, murdered, killed, allowed to invade, create the Gaza Strip, 75 years of persecution, all type of bullshit, apartheid, racist, Luciferian, blood-sucking garbage machine. Soros comes along, and all of a sudden, he has more say than the American people. What's his credentials to be here? Hmm? Where's the receipts? Hmm? Where's his paperwork? Hmm? Talking about he's a philanthropist. Hmm? Hmm? He invested in a million in the United States. But no, he's not investing near dime to the American people. All that money he has, and Oprah Winfrey and the Rock up there asking people for contributions and donations. Many of these organizations that feed the poor and the hungry, and we always talking about God and Jesus and all that. Where's God and Jesus at when the people are homeless on the street? Hmm? Why don't you go down there and talk to them and tell them that Jesus is their Lord and Savior? More like Baphomet, they really mean. But, go down there and tell them that. And then make sure that every single one of them homeless people living on the street in the cold out there has a place to live, a warm place, they raise a family, and they're doing some criminal cartel shit. Or some gangster shit, or some bullshit right here in this country. At the same time, we see creepy ass Soros is able to manipulate, you know what I'm saying, which he probably had a lot to do with orchestrating Black Lives Matter and many other of these wicked ass, nutcase ass groups. You know what I'm saying? But we must stop this now. That goes for Billy Gold Gates. How did he get up in the CDC? How did he get up in the World Organization? How did he get up in telling us anything to do with anything to put into our body medically? Who is they to tell us about a disease and this and that they know full well that 95% of the people could not prove what they were saying at all? So they mix a pot of witches brew and they throw everything in it and mix it. All kind of propaganda, all kinds of lies, all kinds of bullshit, and scramble your fucking brain to where you would make a decision or get mad at the person that's telling you that the decision that you're making can affect your life in many ways. So the righteous people who are warning you or doing the research necessary to bring the information to you, you have been taught by Soros, Bush, Donkey Jr., Biden, creepy ass pedophilia, Mark Zuckerberg, Soros, Billy the Nut Gates Baphomet ass, Anthony fuck Fauci, killing motherfucking nutcase ass, jackass, murder, blood sucking more dead on that man's hands than you would believe, just like the rest of them. Hillary Clinton, talking about she's a Secretary of State. Yeah, she's a Secretary of Hate, maybe, and a betrayer of this country in itself. Same thing go for Michelle Obama, Nikki Haley, and all of them. They seem to be doing the bidding from both sides. We must clean out the Republican Party, like Donald Trump said. Formally a strong Republican base, because this is what this country is. You know what I'm saying? And the Republic of the United States is Morocco. You know what I'm saying? They could have changed it, but it is. You know what I'm saying? So when you say to the Republic, oh, we just have one nation, where's the Republic? It was Morocco, probably at one time in the very beginning. But we must formulate a strong Republican base or strong Republican Party that will stand up for the people of the United States and the world as a whole. The demon Democratic Party, whether they have good ideas, some of them or not, must be removed and reformed if they want to participate in anything to do with the United States. So in more ways than one, while you choose to keep voting because your brains have been brainwashed by LBJ and the Black Caucus dummies and the civil rights leaders that come out of those parts of the Black Caucus dummies and come onto our streets in our neighborhood and telling us to vote because we're black, we should vote Democrat, you know what I'm saying, has done you a disservice for many, many years. And many religious groups and churches. You have not proven your, I don't want to curse, you have not proven your worth to black people, African people, all across the earth, other than hell and harem. While you sit there and talk about a religion or some God that you choose to write into the books and then populate it by violence, murder, invasion, and genocide into the minds of the people in the world to believe something that is not even true. But in the matter of not wondering whether it's true or not, they continue pushing the vibe and the message to where they could use it as a tool as to what we see now in the Gaza Strip. You think this just started?
Another big win, people. So you guys remember I was covering Javier Milei. Do y'all know who Javier I can't even talk. Javier Milei is? He's the guy who won the election down in Argentina. And the Argentina Chamber of Deputies has just passed Javier Milei's historic reforms that will undo socialism in the country. The reforms include over 300 articles of laws being repealed, regulations being revoked, and state-owned entities being sold to the private sector. People, this is what Donald Trump needs to do here in America when he assumes the presidency again next year in January. This is the model, people. This is the model. I mean, the vote was 144 to 109. The Argentine Trump is making history in South America, and it's beautiful to see. That was a Twitter post by my good friend George, who's on Firebrand Media on YouTube. You can check that out. So this is big, people, because if you remember, one of the reasons that we had such a great economy under Trump in 2019, it was just off the chain, was because when he got elected back in 2016 and started enacting his policies, one of the first things he did was went in and signed executive orders, and everybody made a big deal out, oh, he's signing all these executive orders. All it did was rescind the executive orders of the Obama regime. That was it. All these governmental controls, and then the courts started ruling that they could not create laws out of.
Warning, you could soon lose your job because of what's happening inside this building you see behind me. Goldman Sachs economists are already warning that 300 million jobs could simply disappear. One industry insider warned,
in 2018, then Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis drafted a top-secret plan called Project Overmatch. It says the weapons we have right now were designed to win wars in the 20th century, but to overmatch our opponents in the 21st century, we're going to need 21st century weapons. Now here's what most people don't know. Project Overmatch just received final approval to be implemented in March. That's given the Pentagon an extra $37 billion to spend on adding next-generation weapons over the next year.
Notice the price.
They've been moving fast. The Army awarded a $2.2 billion contract in June 27th. The Air Force awarded $950 million in contracts on July 1st. The Navy awarded $350 million in contracts on July 19th. At the center of all this spending is a new weapon that's straight out of a sci-fi movie. CBS News reports it's an entirely new type of weapon. The New York Times reports no existing defense can stop it. And the U.S. Army says we're going to make a lot of them very quickly. In a moment, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and share what I know about this new weapon. And I'm going to tell you about the small defense contractor that beat out all the big firms like Lockheed Martin and Boeing to make it for the military. This small contractor reminds me of General Dynamics, which soared 8,990% after inventing the Tomahawk missile for the Navy. But investors in this small company could make 4 times as much, or 35,000% on their money. That's because this new weapon won't just be adopted by the Navy. It's being adopted by all 4 branches of the military: the Army, the Air Force, the Navy Marines, and the Space Force. Once you see how this new weapon works, you're going to understand why the U.S. is rushing to get as many of these new weapons as possible. That's why the military has said it's their #1 priority. They've already budgeted billions of dollars for these very weapons. In a moment, I'm going to tell you about the small company that won the rights to be the first to make them. In other words, we know the military is spending billions of dollars on these weapons, and we know the name of the small company that won the contract. That gives early investors the opportunity to earn 35,000%.
You know, 3-letter agencies, which is a big deal. So what Javier Milei is doing, I think correct me if I'm wrong, people, and you out in the chat will know it. I'm trying to remember the exact numbers, but I believe he fired or laid off, laid off, the nice way of saying fired, over 5,000 government employees right away down there in Argentina. I believe that was the number. So, yeah, comment in the chat if you know differently, but that's a big deal. So if you're just joining the stream, we've already covered the Soros story, so you have to rewind and go back. But, of course, I think many of you know, but Fani Willis confirmed her relationship with the other prosecutor in the case. And I pulled the story out of Politico because I want you to hear how the left is spinning this. This is hilarious. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis acknowledged entering a personal relationship with the prosecutor is helping lead her case against Donald Trump, but said it has no bearing on her handling of the probe. Rather, she said, efforts by Trump and his co-defendants to disqualify her from the case due to the relationship were a public relations strategy meant to hamstring the prosecution. Well, guess what, Fanny? It's working. In a 176-page filing on Friday, Willis disputed claims that her relationship with special prosecutor Nathan Wade posed a conflict of interest, and she denied she was improperly enriched by the Trump case. Last month, one of the Trump's co-defendants alleged in court documents that Wade had used income he had earned from the case to pay for lavish trips with Willis, which is all documented. And this is turning against her so big, and now she is going through, she's going to get impeached, people down in Georgia. She's going to get impeached. The whole thing is just turning into a media circus down there in Georgia. Thanks so much.
Well, that's what they wanted to do.
I see there's almost 1,000 of you on, and we've already got 522 likes on the stream. So thanks so much for smashing that like button. Willis is filing her first formal response to the allegations of misconduct. And I think one of the telling things about this was how long it took for her to finally admit this. And at first, she just wouldn't talk about it at all. Why? because people, she was creating a 176-page filing. Takes 176 pages to admit her wrongdoing. Now, I did another Nikki Haley video today. Nikki's my girl, man. I'm telling you. I mean, there is no one I want to see get gone more than Nikki Haley. So she's my girl right now. I can't stop doing Nikki Haley videos. I hope you enjoy them. Do you guys enjoy the Nikki Haley videos? I hope you share them because we need to get rid of her. The money that is being wasted and the damage that is being done by trying to prop up Nikki Haley, who has no chance. No chance. So again, I just hope that you're sharing those out because we have to get rid of her. Yeah, Nikki is our recent Liz Cheney. Thank you, Michael Babbitt. That's a great comment there. Now, this is a really good analysis piece out of Real Clear Politics, people. And I just listen to this. I know you're not going to agree with all of it, but his analysis is spot on, and you're going to love when we get to the fifth point he has here. And I'm going to just scream through these first points to move this along. So he says, this is the title of the analysis by Sean Trent at Real Clear Politics is "What is Nikki Haley doing?" Before we start evaluating Nikki Haley's plans for the Republican primaries, let's get one thing out of the way. Barring catastrophe, Donald Trump is going to be the Republican presidential nominee. We will go into the reasons why below, but it's an important enough fact that we should get it out up front. So given this, why is Nikki Haley continuing her bid? I see 5 possibilities. 1, she thinks she might pull ahead in the delegate count. Pure intentions are always a good place to start, so we should mention and eliminate this possibility up front. Haley finished 3rd in Iowa while Donald Trump received a majority of the vote. She placed 2nd in New Hampshire and almost certainly still would have, even if Ron DeSantis had not dropped out, while Trump received a majority of the vote. So, in a state dominated by evangelicals, and in a state where white and evangelicals were just 19% of the electorate, Trump won handily. So he's talking there of Iowa and then, of course, New Hampshire. Almost every state to follow will fall between these two. Next up is South Carolina, which looks like a catastrophe for Haley. Second, she wants to give the establishment Republicans a chance to be heard. So again, he's looking for pure motives. Now he's gonna tear this apart at the end. So just understand he's giving possibilities. Maybe she is staying in so that anti-Trump voters can vent their frustration with the quasi-incumbent president. That would be an unusually benevolent move on the part of a politician. See points 4 and 5 below. Yet if you're insisting upon a charitable explanation, this is probably where you end up. He obviously doesn't agree with it. She thinks she might win at the convention and or a catastrophe might befall Trump. This is one of the strategies, people. The former president is 77 years old. He turned 78 in June. He is infamous for enjoying fast food and eschewing exercise. Health concerns aside, there are criminal indictments that are following him around, although it seems increasingly unlikely that any trials will occur prior to the Republican National Convention. Did you guys see the big news that Jack Smith, his case got off the calendar? I mean, there's no way it gets tried before the election. This is great, okay? I wouldn't put the odds of these occurring and mattering at higher than 10%. But on the off chance that something does happen between now and July, it wouldn't hurt Haley to have some actual delegates in her pocket at the convention, okay? Number 4, she wants to be vice president. This is the conventional explanation for why candidates stay in. Maybe Haley wants to prove her toughness to Trump, or that she could take on a traditional attack dog role that Veeps are often slotted to fill. But there are ways to do this, people, and then there are ways not to do this. Questioning the likely presidential contender's mental fitness, for example, falls squarely within the ways not to do this basket. This is especially true with Trump, who is hardly known for having thick skin. Again, you don't have to agree with this. I'm just telling you what is. Moreover, I think actually what's interesting about Trump is I think he has incredibly thick skin. I think for him, there's some gamesmanship that goes into some of his insults, and I have much less problem with his personal insults that he deals with people and gives them nicknames like, DeSanctimonious, even though, I don't think Ron's the worst guy in the world, or Pocahontas or any of this. I don't have a big thing with this. I have a bigger problem with how the Uniparty is trying to attack the American public and rob us blind, okay? Force jab us. okay? Type elections, those kinds of things. But how many other people could stand up to all of these court cases? And then to say he doesn't have thick skin, he's almost got the hide of an armadillo to continue marching forward in spite of everything that's going on. Somebody said Dave's Pizza. Wait. I got to go back. Laughter Man, do you mean Dave's Pizza in Bemidji? The best pizza on the face of God's green earth? Because it is. If you guys have never been to Bemidji, Minnesota, and eaten at Dave's Pizza in Bemidji, you go to Dave's Pizza in Bemidji. This is free, people. This is additional free. This isn't even news. I'm giving you good advice right now, okay? I hope you understand. You need to go to Dave's Pizza in Bemidji, and you order a pizza called the Italian Combo. Lights out, best pizza you'll ever have in your life. There's only one Dave's Pizza. It's in Bemidji, Minnesota, okay? I just hope we've all got that, all right? Are we clear? Go get yourself to Dave's Pizza. Thank you, Gilliam Wilson. That's their first super chat on the live stream. So let's give Gilliam the hand clap. Thank you so much. Coley's got a channel. He shared that. Coley's one of my mods. Great guy. He's from Australia. All right. So, moreover, Trump has said that Haley and her donors are permanently barred from MAGA. It's far more likely that this campaign ends Haley's career in Republican politics than it is that it catapults her into the presidency. I did my best video I've ever done today on Nikki Haley. If you haven't watched it, just check it out. It's my last upload. And you'll have to, but it shows you that Haley's political career, it's done now. So that leaves us with the final option. People, what do you think the final option is? Why would Nikki still be in this? What is Nikki Haley up to? I want to see your guesses because I think he's nailed it. And I think this is actually the real reason. Why would Nikki Haley still be in the race? So let me just see. Somebody said I haven't seen it pop up in my Rumble notifications. So the problem is I tried to use the Rumble live stream. I was setting it and then it wasn't populating to YouTube. So I still don't have the new Rumble live stream thing figured out completely. She wants Democrat replacing Joe. Money from donors. Money. Let's see if they got any others. Shane, I got the thumbs up from you. Okay, just a couple guesses on this. No, here's what it is, and I believe this is really true. She's trying to date Trump. Do you guys ever remember? Speaking of trying to date Trump, I did a read. Actually, the funniest thing I've ever read in my life. And it was by that New York Post columnist, Miranda Devine, and it was talking about Nancy Pelosi's crush on Donald Trump. It was awesome. Okay. Here's what it is. The fifth and final option. She wants to hurt Donald Trump. She wants to hurt Donald Trump. Imagine that you had previously served in President Trump's cabinet and were so horrified by what you saw, you concluded that he should never sit in the Oval Office again. Or imagine that you simply despise the guy and think he's categorically unfit to be president. What would you do? Your mileage may vary, but you could certainly do a whole lot worse than what Haley is doing. By staying in and needling the former president, she delays him from claiming the mantle of the GOP nominee and from transitioning to the general election. She knocks him off message as he feels compelled to punch down. Marilyn Todd, thank you for that that's her first super sticker. Thank you, Marilyn. By the way, folks, Marilyn Todd, she ran the New Hampshire Voter Integrity Group Facebook page. I'm just calling it what it is, Marilyn's fake book, okay? So, her criticisms echo those coming from President Biden's camp, so they probably softened Biden up some for the general election. What's in it for her? If she fits the bill of someone in the first paragraph, it speaks for itself. A job from wealthy donors, a network television show, the speaking circuit. Plenty of opportunities are available for failed presidential candidates, especially those who attack the candidate the establishment genuinely despises. That's it, folks. That's what Nikki's up to. That's what I think, anyways. All right, and my final story here. Again, if you just jumped on the stream, MyPillow, MyPillow.com, promo code Lumberjack for big savings. I love these travel pillows, people. If you don't have one of these travel pillows, so I'm going to show you something here really quick. If you don't have one, this is what they do, and this is why I like them so much. They just roll up. So I'm going to just roll it, and then you just take this, and you stuff it right inside there on the case. That's it. Ready to roll, man. And then I pack this in my backpack and I take it to the Boundary Waters. I take it elk hunting. And I actually have one of these that I keep on my bed because especially if I'm reading, I put my regular MyPillow, then I put my little travel MyPillow, and it's like my neck pillow as I'm reading. Anyways, just a little tip for you, life tip, okay? All right. Well, I've got actually two stories, but the one I'll cover real quickly. I'm just going to cover that one first. Joe Rogan strikes new deal with Spotify worth $250 million. Leftist's hardest hit. This out of the Gateway Pundit. Joe Rogan has a new deal from Spotify to continue his podcast, and it's worth a whopping $250 million. Now, I'll tell you why this is a big story and why I like it so much. Because Joe Rogan, whether you like him or not, and I don't really watch his podcast, okay? I just don't. I don't like all his cussing and all that. But the bottom line is that he has been covering things that got the left really upset. And not only that, while he was covering them, and right now he's saying he'd vote for Donald Trump. So whether Joe Rogan, was a liberal before, he said liberalism is so far off, it's just ridiculous, okay? So he can't vote for Joe Biden. But while he was covering these things, if you remember, Spotify actually removed some of his episodes. Did you guys catch all this when it was happening during COVID? He absolutely, the guy kept speaking whatever he wanted to speak, and that's what happened. He had episodes removed, and the left was freaking out about Joe Rogan, if you remember all of this. Leftists don't want Joe Rogan to be heard because he doesn't play by their rules and sometimes talks to conservatives and even listens to them, of all things. There was one point where leftist employees of Spotify were demanding that the company drop Rogan. That's clearly not going to happen ever. Now $250 million, okay? And if you didn't catch this, journalists are being laid off left and right all over the place. Hey, C. Cruz.
And being killed.
So that is happening while independent media is blowing up. Even my little channel here on YouTube, it's not that big, folks. Whatever. It's great, and you people have been a great audience, but I'm not that big of a channel. I've got 130-some thousand subscribers, okay? But my channel has grown by almost 30,000 subscribers in the last month. You guys saw when I hit 100,000, and then I didn't make any videos between Christmas and New Year's because I was doing things with my crew, and my daughter needed to move and all of that. So, and my channel's just so independent media is growing while these other media outlets are not doing well. Okay, so, anyways, I think that's the beauty of the Joe Rogan story. But here's a headline, and I don't want you to get worried, but I just want you to know it's coming. And this also was out of the Gateway Pundit, and it said, another raid incoming. Jack Smith leaks dubious story about hidden rooms FBI didn't search at Mar-a-Lago as his case against Trump faltered. Think about this, people. I really should laugh because the implications of it are so serious. But Jack Smith leaks dubious story about hidden rooms. People, what does that make you think of? Makes me think about hidden rooms. And I'm not talking about hidden rooms at Mar-a-Lago. I'm thinking about hidden rooms, meaning John Podesta type hidden rooms. So it's funny that Jack Smith would use that terminology. Did you guys realize that the Joe Biden administration just appointed, no way, Jason must be from Bemidji because he just said Keith's Pizza. Okay, people, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But Keith's Pizza, they were brothers, Dave and Keith. So the Dave's Pizza in Bemidji that I told you earlier about in the stream, Keith's Pizza is like the competing interest of Dave's Pizza because they broke off the family business and one brother ran one pizza joint, one ran the other. I guess they kind of like a family falling out or whatever. It's kind of Bemidji history. I'm sorry. People, that's where I'm from, man. Bemidji's my hometown. It's where I went to high school. It's Paul and Babe, the Blue Ox. You got to go to Bemidji, Minnesota, and you got to try Dave's Pizza. And they can try Keith's Pizza too, but man, I'm like a Dave's guy. Italian combo, again. But John Podesta has been tasked by the Biden regime as the climate czar. Why would they want John Podesta? It's like they're throwing our face in it, okay? Seriously. Go on, look, my Twitter handle is or X is down below in the description. Go over there, follow me, and then follow some of the people I have. But go on X and search John Podesta and see what you come up with. Anyhow, another day, another leak. Special counsel Jack Smith leaked another dubious story to ABC News as his cases against Trump falter. According to a leak to ABC News, Jack Smith's prosecutors have questioned witnesses about hidden rooms and locked closets inside Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate.
Then we want to check his
hidden rooms
drawers
and locked
next
closet
to?
were not searched by federal agents
Ah.
when Biden's FBI
You
raided
wanna
Trump's
check
Florida
Trump
residence in
drawers?
August 2022. What he is doing by leaking this information is trying to set it up for another raid. These people are on a collision course with stupidity.
That's
How
no,
in
they
the world
they've
would
been
or
on
why
that.
would
It
they
said that
ever
other
want to
people's
do that
lives are
when it
being
looks
murdered
so terrible?
by these
All they do
people
is continue to
in
promote Trump by their
in
stupidity.
their stupidity.
I mean, have you guys
And the
seen what's
world
happened to
is
Trump's
accepting
polling
it. We
numbers
cannot
every
accept it
time that they
anymore.
go on these witch hunts, every time that they go on these prosecutions and persecutions and go raid his home, you know, searching in Melania's underwear
Imagine
drawer
that.
and everything? It's disgusting. These people are disgusting.
I want to check
And
his
when they
drawers.
do it, it shows their hand. Just understand
You know what I'm saying?
that their
They want to do the
desperation,
woke, check the man's
the
drawers.
absolute 100% desperation, and the things
What, they
that
want to
they're
check
showing
Trump
us
drawers
right now,
next?
that's not their strongest hand. Okay, so
Ooh.
that's what's going on there. So it's also unclear if Trump ever kept any of those those classified documents in either of those spaces, or whether Smith's team even considered seeking another warrant to search Mar-a-Lago. Again, ABC News said. But every time that these leaks come out, you know that there's something coming. So,
Gestapo.
anyways, thanks for joining me so late at night. Thank you so much for the super
Gestapo.
chat, super stickers.
Like in
That
Germany.
was kind of you all. Keep fighting the
They
good
call them
fight.
the Gestapo, the SS.
You know, this is all just showing their desperation. I mean,
Oh,
George
yeah.
Soros actually losing like that. And if you just jumped on the stream, check out that towards the beginning, I covered the George Soros story. But his prosecutors are leaving public office in droves, folks. The Senate is passing their border deal, but it's dead on arrival in the House. They've already said that. So Justin Trudeau is going down up in Canada. Dutch farmers, German farmers, farmers in France, all rising up. You know,
That's right.
throwing manure all over the public buildings, doing manure spreaders.
Ooh, that's what I
doing
want to hear,
convoys,
baby. Let's
blocking
rise,
the
baby. Let's
convoy
rise
over the
today.
Texas border.
Let's get it.
Things
Let's get it.
are going good. People are rising up.
Don't you
So
stop.
it's good
You
news.
push till you
folks.
push their
Peace
asses
out.
into the sea. And that goes for the Gaza Strip as well.
And the most important things in our life are God, family, and health.
Did you